Yo, what is up, guys? How's everybody doing today? I've been getting a ton of questions about what you guys can do for off-ice training, so I figured that this would be a really good time to introduce what I do when things aren't going well, what I do in terms of upkeep during the year, and things to keep my legs going, exercises and the type of training that I use to help myself get out of a rut and also maintain and get ready for the hardest situations that we're going to face as goaltenders on the ice. So if that's something that interests you, make sure to stick around for the rest of the video. Alright, bang guys. So this is something that I didn't intend on posting for quite some time, but I'm going to dive into it today because I think it's an important part of a lot of my success has come from. And it's something that I just stumbled on over the years, and it's something I just stumbled on with thinking about the game and the way I approach the game, right? So the biggest thing as goalies is a lot of people, they have we come under pressure for about 30 seconds and then our legs get tired. What happens if we face a 5-on-3? What happens if we face a 5-on-3 for 5 minutes and we're up by a goal in a championship game and you have to get the job done, right? So this training that I'm about to explain to you guys and show you is exactly how you can prepare for the hardest situations that you're gonna face on the ice. It's how we get our muscles ready for that constant time under tension, right? Because as goalies, you have to understand, right? We're not jarheads, we don't need to be lifting 1,000,000 pounds. But the biggest thing is training our body to get used to extensive, long amounts of time under tension, right? So what I'm about to show you is a big secret of mine, and it's honestly, the information's already out there, but the way that I approach the idea has allowed me to excel, has allowed me to get ready for the biggest games of my life, and I'm gonna share that with you guys today. So the three biggest concepts when it comes to training are, there's plyometric training, there's eccentric training, and there's isometric training, right? So plyometric is your explosiveness up and outward. Eccentric training is your deceleration strength. And your isometric strength is how long you can hold the peak of your exercise for, right? So now when we think about that, let's see how it translates to the ice. When we go on the ice, typically zone possession is 30 seconds to 1 minute. So as goalies, if we're just going out to practice and we're just training ourselves to be ready for 20-second reps, 30-second reps, when you get to a game and you're getting constant 30 seconds, sometimes all the way up to like 1.5 minutes, and that scenario is happening over and over and over again throughout a game, then honestly, we need to train that a little more deliberately. We need to train that time under tension much more deliberately. And this is an idea that I discussed before, and it's something that I'll bring to fruition right here with your off-ice training. So this all has to do with off-ice training, all right? If the game requires us to be here, right? So if we're in our zone for 30 seconds to 1 minute and we're getting tired when the game requires us to be here, well, how about we train that time under tension to get used to 1 minute, to get used to 1:30, to get used to 2, 4, whatever, right? We train that time under tension to get our bodies used to a much longer time under tension. That way, when we get to the game, which only requires us to be here, which only requires certain spurts of 30-second plays in the zone, then those are going to be really easy because your body, your muscles, your legs, and everything are just used to way longer time under tension. And what we're doing is when you get to those situations, saves that you were supposed to make seem very routine. These seem very easy because your body, your muscle, everything is just ready for the worst situations that you're going to be in as a goalie. So knowing those three types of training now, right? I'm going to show you a way that you guys can utilize this to make your legs much more effective on the ice, much stronger, so that way you can stop all the pucks you should, and then some are a lot that you shouldn't. So right now I'm going to show you guys 4 different exercises that you can do off the ice without any weights at all, and if you have weights, even better, right? Because like I said, training that time under tension and then embracing that process is super important. So what you guys really want to focus on here is the timing of all this, is the tempo of all this, right? Like I said, we're not jarheads, right? And you guys have to embrace the process when it comes to these things. We want to train that time under tension until our body gets used to it, and then we inch up a little bit to a point where we're getting shaky, right? And then we slowly, week after week, we train our time under tension to handle this, a little bit more the next week, a little bit more the next week, a little bit more the next week. And every time you come back to this style of training, every time you come back to these exercises, you're going to feel much more in control with your legs and your arms. So today I'm going to show you guys 4 exercises that you can do from home that are going to train you to get ready for the worst situations that you're going to face on the ice. So all those exercises coming up. Now get why the process is important. You now get why that time under tension is important, right? Because if we can get our legs used to going slowly down, holding that peak and then exploding up, well, that's how you work every single area as a goalie that's going to be required of you on the ice, right? Because as goalies, we constantly need to be explosive, but we also need to be very comfortable in that time under tension, because oftentimes that's where we have those mental lapses. When our body is not ready, the mental fatigue sets in. Those split seconds are so important. And being able to decelerate fast, being able to hold the peak of an exercise for a long period of time and being able to do multiple reps of that. That's how we can accomplish what I talk about, making all the saves you're supposed to, and then some you're not, because the ones you're supposed to become so routine because your body is just so ready, so used to all that time under tension. And like I showed you, you're working on plyometric, eccentric, and isometric. And when we work on all 3 of those things, that's when everything comes together as a goalie. That's when you start becoming an elite goaltender. Try these guys out and let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoy.
Fest hela dagen. Mjöl från livets grottekvarn.